chunk to pay their employees. They're not going to shut down anytime soon. So that's where XRP really wins. I feel like Trump could really pump XRP though. Let's take a look at this. This is the thing people have been waiting for.
Unleashed a potential massive black swan event for the entire world. Okay, and this does beg our attention. It's something that we should definitely be focusing on. And honestly, I think this is
Trump actually did do a lot of black swans event this year, but we saw this to be positioned appropriate regions near Russia. This just comes after Trump announced a 10-day deadline for Russia to show progress in ending the war. Basically, yeah, it's just everyday task, right? And I'm not that afraid about it. But this is the real thing. Trump says job numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee who fake job numbers. Again, I feel like all of this news far underweighs how much we have been hearing good news in just the past 3 months.
But then there are massive upswings during specific periods of time when we start to see bullish pieces of news come through. And so some people see this as a potential stop.
So yeah, this is pretty big that Levi has found this. Market the highest level in 4 years according to Citadel market volume. Call options now reflect 68% of the market volume. Again, calls are when you say the prices will go up, the highest since 2021. So 68% of people are saying that the market is going to go up. 2022, we saw about 13%. Or what's that? Like it's 20% of total orders. So crazy.
Signal. Other people see this as, an amazing opportunity for retail to get plays a very large part.
Individual investors are taking over the market. Again, we are seeing individual investors or retail investors coming back into XRP. Why is Crypto.com and all these crypto exchanges most installed in history is what we're seeing right now. This is what we're seeing. All these exchanges are being installed after they were all deleted. You kind of delete them from your phone in 2021. Now people went back and installed them. So retail investor share of the options has hit a record 21%. The percentage had risen by 5 percentage points since April. So we could be seeing a bigger pump for XRP than 2021 crypto rallies. We still have, a long way to back and install them. And this is what really makes me hyped. The partnership were being settled overseas. For some reason, the US is still needed to make things move. The US is like the richest country, so I definitely feel like a US partnership with XRP would really move the markets.
General institutional offerings. And so we're seeing that grow at an immense amount. We can also see that US job cut announcements have jumped 140% year over year in July to 62,075, well above the 4-year average. And this is more than double the average July job average cut of 23,000 between 2021 and 2024. Year to date, US-based employers have announced 806,000 job cuts, which is the highest total for any January-July period since 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. This is also
okay, so this was second highest figure since 2008, and it's already 6% above the 2024 total. Had led the increase with 300,000 job cuts. Oh, I guess technology and retail. Uphold was with Ripple while it was delisted from everywhere. Exactly, like you could still buy some exchanges, but 90% of exchanges you couldn't even buy XRP. So you didn't have that, but as soon as it got listed, guess what? People started installing the apps back, and the volume went, in Korean markets. And we're revised lower by a massive 258,000 jobs today. Job numbers are being produced. Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting too much into politics. I like to keep this channel politic free maybe in the future. But
that's totally okay. But we can also see that the government sector is not the only sector that's being affected.
I mean, the job cuts are part of the government being fired, right? So that's why this has jumped so much, because Trump, I'm pretty sure he fired, I guess 20% of the government, like a lot of everyday workers. But that doesn't necessarily indicate that the markets are bad. It just means a lot of people were fired and have to find different jobs. And I hope they do. But technology has been really growing in 2021. And now we're seeing, technology kind of changing. AI has really given 80,000 people to quit their jobs. The thing is, I feel like technology over long term is what's really going to make markets rise. So what has grown most in the last 10 years is probably technology, XRP, crypto. These are the big things. NVIDIA literally hasn't rose ever as much as this. And that's what makes it huge. So yeah, a small bump, I feel like it could be from anywhere. Could be like people start using AI.
Liquidity will have to come from somewhere for a lot of these companies and people that are no longer working, right? They'll either have to sell their holdings or, they'll have to take out more debt. And so, yeah, we'll have to see what comes of all of that.
So here's one point Levi is missing. He's saying that they will need to sell their stuff but the thing is, we are at the lowest unemployment rate in the history of the world, possibly. It's never been easier to find a job. But when it was 2022, it was really hard to find a job, right? There was so much of the stock markets crashing and you had to sell stuff even at the lowest price point, right? But now it's literally so easy to find a job. Literally, you walk somewhere and you can find a job. That's what at least the data says, right? Depends what niche you're in.
Now, when we're talking about digital assets,
the whales sold everything. The whales, they literally dumped from 3.66 to $3.
Specifically, there's a lot of amazing things that are happening, including, a number of announcements from Treasury Secretary Besant. He's saying, we are exploring new possibilities in decentralized computing and digital payments to unlock the potential of blockchain technology. Now, when he was talking about this decentralized computing, he was specifically talking about government-based applications for this technology. That's really cool. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on this announcement right now. If the government starts to integrate decentralized computing and blockchain technology into the government alongside AI, they could potentially automate hundreds of thousands of more government jobs. And what that will ultimately result in is a massive amount of taxpayer savings.
That's what the long-term plan is. Of course, it hasn't worked that way because technology is not that advanced. XRP can make basically all the transfers for the banks, but you still need someone to actually check if everything is okay or make these transfers basically approved. So here's where I feel like that the government could really work at it in the next 5 years. This will really change, right? Because with AI, we're making such big improvements that we could be seeing this compounding growth of value that XRP makes, more employees, more transfers, more partnerships. And that's what could really make its price pump.
And potentially even lower taxes once more. This will allow the government...
Again, I feel like Elon Musk tried doing that or did that. And we haven't seen lower taxes yet or more savings, but that is the plan of the US government, is basically focus more on technology and less on basically being, reliant on other countries. Like, we want to make everything ourselves, right? That's what Trump's plan is. And it includes US cryptos. We don't want cryptos from other countries, Trump said. So yeah.
Government application. It'll save the taxpayer tremendous amounts of capital over the long term, and it will allow for a lot more money to flow through the country itself for innovation and investment to grow the country in a massive way. And so I'm really excited about this, and I think this is great for cryptocurrency. And obviously it's not going to happen overnight, but the wheels are in motion.
I don't feel like this will happen this year. Might take like 5-10 years.
And over the long term, I think this is going to be amazing. We live in an incredible time in human history where we have some of the most amazing technologies that are making our lives truly better in so many different capacities. Now, when it comes to trade...
Like what you're seeing right now is the start, like maybe the first 3-4 years of the biggest pumps and the biggest technology uprisings we have seen in the world. There's more money right now in the world than anywhere else, than any other time in the history, right? Now we're seeing the most money in the world. It's not before. And again, a lot of this money will go into technology. I feel like technology is going to be the big part. It's going to help with, exploring space. It's going to be helping with transfers. It's going to be helping with automating cars, making lives easier in the next 20, 30 years. And that's where XRP comes in. It's not going to do like car payments or something like that, but it is going to automate like maybe 20% of it. So yeah, it is definitely bullish.
Those dips. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of what we're seeing here today. So with that being said, I'm gonna
Matthew Perry, again, another good video from Crypto Levi, basically awesome. He's been doing crypto for 5 years. Check